Today we are going to be talking about one of the most unique and macabre museums in all of West Virginia. Today we are going to be talking about the Archive of the Afterlife, a paranormal museum in Cameron, West Virginia. If you've ever made contact with the other side and all they wanted to do was talk to you about your car's extended warranty, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? I am the best Virginian. I bring you West Virginia history and travel videos from all across the mountain state of West Virginia. And today we are going to be going to Cameron, West Virginia, on the backside of Marshall County, West Virginia, kind of on the opposite side of the county of Moundsville and the Penitentiary, to visit the Archive of the Afterlife. It's located about 30 minutes from Moundsville and about 28 minutes from the Palace of Gold, so if you find yourself in the area and it's something you're interested in, you should definitely check it out. Now, this video is going to talk about items in a paranormal and death museum, and because of that, if that's not something you're really interested in, I do not mind if you want to skip this video. Also, my last couple videos have been rather serious, so I am going to be a little bit more comedic in this video. And if you know me, you know I like my humor like I like my coffee. Super dark. But when you first walk in, you're greeted with a collection of various historical oddities, including bricks from various haunted locations, as well as a historical sod collection. Now, this collection includes samples of turf from Antietam in Maryland, the site of the Silver Bridge disaster in Point Pleasant, the TNT area in Point Pleasant, and the grave of West Virginia's first serial killer, Harry Powers, along with many, many, many other representations of turf from various locations, not just in West Virginia, but the surrounding areas. Also, lots and lots of creepy portraits, but don't worry, this isn't the only room with lots and lots of creepy portraits. Now, personally, I would split the museum up into two parts. You have this historical collection, which is the downstairs and one room, and the upstairs, which includes the mortuary room, the funeral home and religious relic room, the war/penitentiary room, and the hospital antiquities room. And the paranormal collection, which includes the doll room, the haunted object room, and the cursed object room. Now, you might be asking yourself, how do you tell the difference between haunted objects and cursed objects? OSHA-approved signage, of course. Now, I would definitely recommend checking out the historical collection for anyone who is a phobophile or taphophile. That is someone who loves creepy and macabre objects, not to be mistaken with a necrophile, which, well, be careful getting those terms mixed up in public, because I don't know if I was just kicked out of that Applebee's or the entire franchise. Now, the second room you'll walk into is the mortuary room. This room contains two full embalming tables, and one of which is from New Martinsville in Wetzel County, West Virginia, embalming pumps, all manner of tools, and even preserved certifications from various mortuary schools across the United States. The next room is the war/penitentiary room with various artifacts from the World Wars, Vietnam, Desert Storm, along with artifacts from the former West Virginia State Penitentiary in Moundsville, West Virginia. And a lot of these World War II artifacts were taken from the Western Front. For those of you who failed U.S. history, the Western Front is where some of the most brutal fighting took place in between the Russians and the German armies. Notice some of the through-and-throughs on the bullet holes in the German helmets. 7.62x54R is a very spicy round. It's days like this I ask myself, why? Why didn't I make a World War channel? The prison portion of the room contains several artifacts from the former West Virginia State Penitentiary, including what I believe may be the largest collection of prison shanks from the penitentiary. There's also a section of the room where you can learn more about Harry Powers, West Virginia's first serial killer. If you haven't yet and that's something that interests you, check out the video I made on Harry Powers if you're into West Virginia true crime. They also have the original Old Sparky electric chair cap from the penitentiary, but when I was visiting, it was being shown at a paranormal conference or expo. The next room you'll enter is the funeral home and religious relic room. This room includes 3 full-size coffins. One is a wicker coffin, which was used primarily back during the Civil War when you had to transport bodies, but you didn't want them baking in a closed container. And rental coffins. Yes, at one point you could rent fancy coffins. A full-size one and a children's rental coffin. Along with these, they also have the start of what they're hoping will become the largest crucifix collection in West Virginia and maybe even the world. It's a really good start, but I've been to some Christmas dinners, like Italian Christmas dinners in Bridgeport, West Virginia. You got a ways to go. This room showcases a lot of religious and ceremonial history on how we've treated the deceased, especially in West Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Now, the only room left in the historical part of the museum is the hospital wing upstairs. Along with a hospital bed frame, there are doctor's chairs, a wheelchair, nurse outfits from the private collection of the wife of West Virginia Governor Arch A. Moore. Yeah, just a lot of general historical medical artifacts, which I'm a big personal fan of. I love medical history. And that sums up the historical part of the museum. The 3 remaining rooms are the doll room, the haunted object room, and the cursed object room. And I feel that these 3 rooms are probably the main draw for people who just like the paranormal, like ghost stuff, that aren't complete weirdos like me, because yeah, you can probably draw more people in if you advertise it as a paranormal ghost museum than you can advertising it as just a death museum. But still, I did enjoy some of these parts of the museum. So the doll room is just that. It's a room full of dolls either found by or donated to the museum. The whole room is full of unblinking, well, hopefully unblinking. Man, I'm going to be really creeped out if I go back through my footage and there's just one of these dolls blinking at me. A lot of them have unique stories attached to them that you can read as you're going through the room, and I was really impressed by the museum staff, how many of the stories of these unique items that they knew. Now, some of these dolls do not have stories attached to them because people showed up and was like, here, take them. Now, the next room is the haunted or charged object room. And again, a lot of these items have stories attached to them that are either told on little like notes stuck around the room, or again, the staff, super knowledgeable. They will tell you the history of a lot of these items, like a copy of Dr. Seuss's The Foot Book that was taken from the home of a quadruple homicide, a haunted trunk, and a large collection of Ouija boards. There was also this Victorian mirror that I believe I captured the image of a super handsome ghost in, and it might even be the same ghost that I captured in a mirror at the Trans-Allegheny Asylum. Stick with the channel. This might be getting interesting. The last room, of course, is the cursed item room. From my understanding, the difference between haunted items and cursed items is a lot like forklifts. If you know what you're doing and you treat them with respect, it's fine to handle and have them around. But these items are more like an open fireplace in a firework factory. This room includes dolls that have reportedly moved and talked on their own, a Bible that caused poltergeist activity for a family, and a mirror in a cabin that pretty much anyone who lived in the cabin for any length of time passed away. And the mirror was damaged when the cabin, despite having no utilities hooked up to it, burst into flames one night. The Paranormal Quest crew, many of which are affiliated with the museum, did a 3-part series on this cabin that I'll leave down in the description below. Definitely check it out. Definitely support them and their channel. And again, the Archive of the Afterlife is a unique museum that, whether you're into the paranormal or just the macabre like me, has something for all manner of dark tourists. And for just $10 admission, a tour is really worth a visit if you find yourself in the Moundsville, West Virginia area. So I think that's where I'm going to wrap this video up. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Let me know if you've ever been to the Archive of the Afterlife in the comment section, and if there's anywhere else in West Virginia you would like to see me go. And until next time, don't forget to stay wild, stay wonderful, stay weird, and I'll talk to you later.